Secretary of State and Fox News contributor Mike Pompeo with us now. Mr. Secretary, thank you for taking time on a Saturday. On Monday, this list, a new travel ban goes into effect. The 12 countries where they're banned, 7 more because with some restrictions because of their vetting, their harboring of terrorists, and being countries that have high rates of overstays. Your thoughts?
So I've been talking for a long time about the risk of terror coming into our country through illegal immigration, and that includes not only folks coming across our southern border. We saw hundreds of folks on our own American designated terror watch list come across the border under President Biden. But it's also folks who come here legally and then don't go home, and they overstay. And so I'm very pleased to see what President Trump has decided to do. This will keep America safer. He did it in a very logical way that I think will withstand court challenge. And American people will be safer. These are nations who have people coming to our country. We don't know who they are. They're impossible to vet because of the record keeping inside of their own country. We simply don't know who's coming here, and that is unacceptable risk presented to the United States, not only from terror, but from crime that these folks commit when they come to our country.
And Mr. Secretary, I think you really put your finger on something important that may not be getting enough attention. When we look back at the Boulder attack, Mohammed Salman, an Egyptian national, and Egypt's not on this ban list, to be clear, he overstayed his B1, B2 tourist visa. But in this list that the president is banning and restricting on Monday, we know that there is a high rate of B1, B2 tourist visa overstays. You've got Burma's is, I believe, 27%. You've got the Congo's 30%, Haiti's 31%, and the country of Chad is just under 50% for visa overstays. Would you like to see the administration doing more?
Yes, and I think they are. I think they've turned their attention to this very quickly. They are now going after not only those folks who are at the border, whether it's our southern border or our northern border, but folks who come here through a port of entry. They fly in, they go through the process, and then they just refuse to comply with their visa, which was of limited time duration. So we should begin to pursue them, we should chase them down, and then we should return them to their own country. This will keep America safe. The easiest way for a nation that wanted to conduct terror, and we saw what the Chinese Communist Party did with agro-terrorism just these past couple weeks, is to have someone come in here with a lawful visa and then just hang out and begin to disrupt the United States of America. So I'm glad to see the administration turn to this. It's a serious matter, and the countries that are sending them here and allowing these folks to come back have to take them back home as well.
There's an interesting aspect to this, Secretary Pompeo. The president is exempting athletes and coaches participating in next year's World Cup from this ban. But what does it mean for fans from these countries hoping to be here for the games? Do you see that impacting things?
Oh, it may. It'll certainly impact folks who want to come here from those countries. But the World Cup matters. We want to do that right, and we want to be a welcoming nation. But it is an imperative that we not use the cover of a football match or a set of football matches in the World Cup to allow folks to come into our country who aren't going to go back and who present risk. And so, yes, it'll have a real impact. There's no doubt about that. But I'm confident we can figure out the wheat from the chaff, the good from the bad, and get this right and have a wonderful World Cup and keep America safe at the same time, too.
Yeah, it's a great point. Let me just switch gears, if I can, to what our correspondent Alex Sungin was talking about, the Russia-Ukraine war. After the two countries traded attacks this week, President suggesting it might be better for both sides to fight it out, like kids on a playground there or in a schoolyard. It suggests almost, Mr. Secretary, like President Trump, the administration's giving up a little bit on a peace deal at this moment. How do you read it?
Well, we all want peace. The analogy to a schoolyard isn't perfect unless you make clear that there's a bully and there's a victim. And in this case, Vladimir Putin is the bully. He's the aggressor. If he laid down his weapons, this war would end tomorrow. He has shown no signs that he wants peace. And so while I think it is the case that they're going to continue to go at it, it is not because the Ukrainian leadership wants to continue this fight. They'd love peace. Indeed, they've agreed to an immediate ceasefire. It is Vladimir Putin and the Russians. One last thing about this moral equivalence that sometimes I hear. Make no mistake about it. The Ukrainian targets inside of Russia have been all military targets, while the Russian targets inside Ukraine have been its civilians, killing thousands and thousands of them. So the schoolyard fight is about a victim. Someone's being attacked by a bully, and the bully's going to have to be punched in the face in order to convince him to stop what has been this aggression that has caused so much trouble throughout all of Europe these last 3 years now.
A great point, Mr. Secretary. And Kharkiv, that eastern major city, is so critical, but the residents there, the Ukrainian residents, suffering greatly from those attacks, as it appears that this is, for the time being, heating up, unfortunately. Secretary Mike Pompeo, thank you very much for taking time today.